Okay, so that means we can pull out a 3. Okay, what is 3 divided by 3? 1. 6 divided by 3. 2. Okay, my first guy, he's got 1B. My second guy, he's got none. So how many can I pull? None. So put him back where he goes and put the plus sign. Okay, 39, same thing. So what is the smallest number up there? 6. Okay, does 6 go into 54? Yes. Okay, does 6 go into 36? Yes, and 6 goes into 6. So 6 can come out of every one. Okay, 54 divided by 6, 9, and 6 divided by 36 divided by 6, 6, and 6 divided by 6, 1. Okay, put all your signs back. How many ends does my first guy have? 5. Second guy. Third guy. 3. So how many can I pull? 3. Okay, how many is my first guy gonna have left? 2. Second guy. 1. And third guy. None. Okay, factor each completely. The first couple where A equals 1 are most definitely the easy ones, I would say. Okay, so you're going to draw 2 sets of parentheses, and if you do need this chart, make sure that it gets put on your paper. You're going to draw 2 sets of parentheses, and we're going to fill in A and A. Then we're going to make a list of what number? 10. Okay, so we got 1 and 10. 2 and 5. How could I get a 9? 1 and 10, and I need a negative 9. It's got to be a plus 1 and a minus 10. Okay, 43 is the same. A equals 1, so I got n and n. What are some factors of 1? 1 and 1, right? So I need a negative 2. How can I make that happen? Both negative. Okay, do we leave it like that? No, what do we need to do? Good. Okay, so they need to be squared like that, okay, because they're exactly the same. What if one is a plus and one's a minus? Can we do that? No. They got to be 100% exactly the same in order for us to do that. Okay? Okay, 45 and 46 are the hard ones, okay, and they're because A does not equal 1, so they're considered the get in check method. Okay, so you're going to start off by making your parentheses. And we're going to make factors of what number first? 7. Okay, which is 1 and 7. So I got 1n and 7n. And then we're going to make a factors of what number? 9. Okay, which is 1, 9, 3, 3. Either do that or do the engineering. 1, 2. Okay, where do I always say start from? The bottom, okay, and I absolutely would. Okay, for your paper's purposes, because I cannot exactly draw a lot of notes on here, okay, you need to check this and these two. Okay, so I would most definitely draw those on there because you guys forget what to check. Okay, so what is 1 times 3? 3, and then 3 times 7? 21. Okay, would a 21 and a 3 give me a 2? No. Okay, so in this case, the bottom did not work. However, do we need to switch them? No. Why not? They're the same. Okay, so we can try 1, then 9. Okay, 1 times 9? 9, and 1 times 7? 7. Okay, how could that give me a 2? A 9 and a 7. How can I get a positive 2? 9 minus 7. Okay, and then how do I fill that in above? We're going to do the opposite. So it should be minus and then a plus. You guys are doing much better than the other class. So kudos. Okay, the quadratic formula. Make sure that that is on your paper. Girl, you gotta write fast. Let's go. You're gonna have more practice, but okay. What is gonna be my A? A is 3. What's my B? Try again. Try again. 0. Why is it 0? Okay, so if we pay attention to this, in my first period class did it too. So the x squared part is going to be the A. The part that would just have the single x, or like this, yeah, it has just a single x, or just have a single n, is the B. And then the C is always just the number. Okay, so if there's no B there, it's a 0. If there be no A is 0. If there's no C, C is 0. Okay, so I have x equals negative, my B is 0, plus or minus B squared minus 4 times A times C. Okay, and my C is negative 48, not 48. All over 2 times A. Okay, what are we going to get for the first part? What is negative 0 going to become? It's just 0. Okay, plus or minus, what are we going to get for the bottom? 6. Okay, and then this part is all going to get typed on your calculator. Okay, you're going to hit your square root button first to make sure it's all underneath the square root, as well as don't forget the squared that's in there. You can move or scoot your desk back. Huh? What did you guys get for underneath for the radical part? 24. Okay, so when we type that whole thing in, we got 24. Now what do we do with that plus minus? What do we do with that plus minus? Perfect, okay, so that really means it's going to look like this. 0 plus 24 over 6 and 0 minus 24 over 6. Okay, and so you should get 4 and negative 4. Okay, on all of these you're going to get 2 answers. Okay, if you don't have 2, then it's not right. Okay, the next page on here, again, make sure you have these notes. It's that shifting. If you remember how to shift, then don't worry about it, okay? So, we got that up and down, that left to right, stretch or compression, okay? And then it opens up or down. Okay, and again, if you know you don't write fast and take a damn picture, so when it's your work time, you can write it down. Okay, where do all these graphs start at? 0, 0. Okay, so we're going to put our pencil on 0, 0. Okay, what does this minus 1 do? It's going to go down 1. So that puts me here. Okay, what does this minus 4 do? So minus 4 on the inside do? It's going to go right 4. Okay, so what is this first point called? The vertex. Okay, so from here we can count up 1 and over 1. And then what? 4 over 2. Okay, from the vertex. So 1, 2, 3, 4 over 2 and over 2. Okay, 51, what does that minus 2 do? Down 2. What does that minus 1 do? Right 1. Okay, so that's going to be our vertex. What does this minus do? It's going to open down with a slope of what? 2. Okay, so instead of going down 1 over 1, we're going to go down 2 over 1. So we're going to go down 2 over 1. Down 2 over 1. Okay, for the third set of points, it gets a little bit trickier. Okay, so we need to use the equation to find the third set. However, what two numbers can we type in? 3 and -1. So we're going to take this, and you're going to type it in exactly the way it looks. And where the x is at, you can either put 3 or -1. It does not matter. -10. I'm gonna go with -10. Okay. Okay, the next ones are standard form. And those are the ones we just did not too long ago. Okay, so we do that -b over 2a. Okay, and that finds our x, and then we have to go back through and plug it in. Okay, so we do negative, and my b still happens to be -8 over 2, and my a is 1. Okay, so you can type that in on your calculator, and you should get what? You should get a 4. Okay, so we're going to put that 4 there. Okay, and so now it says plug in the x to find the y. Okay, so we're going to plug that in up here. Okay, and so what it should look like is 4 squared minus 8 times 4 plus 17. Okay, and what does that give you? 16, 32. You sure? You got 1, 2? Oh, shoot, I was looking right here. 4, 1. Okay, and so that's our vertex. Now, my a equals 1, so we can go ahead and go up 1 over 1, and then what?
Up 4 over 2.
4 over 2. 1, 2, 3, 4 over 2. Okay, determine if this sequence is geometric or not. These ones are all pretty easy. They're calculator. I know that it's been a while, but okay. So, We say 216 divided by 36, and what do you get? 6. Okay, and then you say 36 divided by 6. 6 and 6 divided by 1. 6. Are those three all the same? Yes, then yes, it's geometric. If even one of them is different and the common ratio is 6. Okay, if one of them was a 4, then they're not the same. Okay. Find the common ratio and the next three terms after the given sequence. So same thing, we're going to find the common ratio. So what is 27 divided by negative 9? Negative 3. Okay, again, because they're not asking is this geometric, you only need to do one. Okay, so our common ratio is 3, and then you need to find the next three terms. So you're going to say 27 times negative 3, and what do you get? Negative 81, and now you're going to say times negative 3. We're going to do that 3 times. 243 times negative 3. 729. Negative. Okay, for the next part though, you do need that formula. Okay, so AR to the n minus 1, where A is going to be the first term, R is your ratio, and the N is the term name. So they're telling you find term or find A equals 10 or 9 or whatever. Okay, so what is our first term? What's our first number listed? 2 times my ratio. Again, because we already know that it's geometric, then we just need to find the ratio. Okay, and you can either do 128 divided by 32, or back here, 8 divided by 2 is what? 4. Okay, so it's that easy. So my common ratio is 4 to the n minus 1. What is my n term? 10. So 10 minus 1. Or if you're using one of the older calculators, you would just have to do 4 to the 9th power. Okay, because 10 minus 1 is 4. And it's going to give you something really big. I'm not going to lie to you. Okay, and what is that number? Okay, the next part on here is for taking it from exponential form to radical form, or from radical form to exponential form. Okay, and again, these should take 5 seconds to do once you know the formula, okay? So we have a number, which is here, and then an A over B, okay, which is the fraction part, okay? And then we go to radical form. So because we're going to radical form, I know that I need to draw the radical. What is going to be the big number that's going to go underneath? 2. Okay, what's going on the inside? Okay, so match it up from here to here to here. 8's going on the inside. What's going on the outside? 5. Okay, same thing. We're drawing that radical. What's going underneath? What's our big number? 6n. What number is going on the inside? 3. Outside? 2. And again, the 2 can be put there, but it doesn't absolutely have to be there. We're almost done, because I crossed quite a few off coming up, but. Okay, same thing, I wrote them on here, but you really don't need to write them twice. Okay, this time we're going from a radical form to exponential form. Okay, so what is going to be my big number? 2. What's going on the top of that fraction? 3. Bottom? 4. Okay, same thing here, I got 7x. What's going on the top? 4. Bottom? 3. Okay, so there's no difference between this formula and the one you just wrote down. They're perfectly the same. They're just interchangeable. Okay, one goes from exponential to radical, one goes from radical to exponential. But the steps are 100% the same. Okay, 15 through 20. You guys are crossing out. So the rest of this page, 15 all the way to 20. Okay, so 15 all the way down. I know, it's because I don't erase it all day. Okay, 21. Okay, we're going to go ahead and start factoring this. Okay, and I just so happen to know, but it's 7 and 49. 7 and 7. Okay, who is allowed to go? What are those magic numbers?
2, 7.
What's the magic? What's the only numbers you're allowed to circle and group?
6 and 7.
2. What else? I'm not talking about this. I'm talking about in general. 2, 3, 5, 7. Okay, and any other prime. So 2, 3, 5, 7. Okay, but yes, you are right. 2 groups or 1 group of 7s can go. Okay, that 6 is already on the outside. Okay, so 1 7 can go. What about the other 7? Where's he got to go?
On the inside.
Back on the inside. Okay, how many R's do I have?
4.
4. 1, 2, 3, 4. How many of those guys can go? 2 sets, so it's going to be R2 can go. Negative 6 times 7. Okay, it's going to be negative 42. R2 square root 7. Okay, for 23 it says keep the inside or simplify to the same number, then add or subtract the outside. Okay, you don't absolutely need that, but that's just a general rule. That doesn't really like give you steps to do it, but that's just kind of a general rule. Okay, so our inside's the same. Yes, they're both 5, so then we can go ahead and add or subtract the outside. Okay, so what is 1 plus 1? So it's going to be 2 square root of 5. Okay, and we keep the inside the same.
I like them.
Okay, 25. Are those ones the same on the inside? No, so we need to get them to be the same. So 12 is going to be 2, 6, 2, 3. 27 is going to be 3, 9, 3, 3. Okay, so looking at the first radical, who can go? A group of 2s. And then this 3 right here, he's going to go back on the inside. Okay, this one, I already got that 3 for starters. Okay, now, with the second radical, who can go? A group of 3s. Okay, so he can go, and there's 1 left over. Okay, what do you do with all those things on the outsides? Multiply them. So 3 times 2 is going to be negative 6, square root 3, negative 9, square root 3. Now our inside's the same. Yeah, so we can combine the outsides. What is negative 6 minus 9? Negative 15, square root 3.
I thought Rhonda was going to be useful.
Okay, 27, for multiplication, okay, you're gonna multiply the insides and multiply the outsides together, and then simplify. Okay, so, essentially, they want you to just take 3 times 5, which is what? 15, okay? Now, for today's purposes, we're gonna skip the simplified step. However, on your test, you're gonna be required to do the simplified step, okay? But 15 doesn't even simplify anyway, so this problem doesn't really matter, okay? But when you do that 12 by 15, okay, that one would be able to simplify, okay? Okay, so 29, okay, we're gonna multiply the insides and then the outsides. So 3 times -5 is what? -15, and then you're gonna multiply the inside. So 12 times 3 is what? 36. Okay, and that 36 is what I was saying, you can go ahead and like draw the tree and factor it out. We're not doing it today because we just don't have time, okay? But you would be required to, okay? Tomorrow, the packet is all multiple choice and we're not taking notes, so tomorrow should go quick. But today's, because we had so many notes and stuff, it just is slow, okay? So I know some of you guys are feeling frustrated, like, man, she's going really fast. I've got to, okay? It's because we're taking notes. If we weren't taking notes, we'd have already been done already, okay? 31, okay? So there's a difference between an inside piece and an outside piece. See how this is on the outside of a radical, and this is on the inside. Outside, inside. Okay, so is 10 an inside piece or an outside piece? Inside piece. Okay, so you're going to multiply the insides together and multiply the outsides together. So for this first one, you're going to get square root of 20. Okay, and then for this one, it's going to look like plus 2 square root of 10. I cannot combine that 2 and that 10 because the other 2 is an outside piece and the 10 is an inside piece. Okay, so it should look just like that. Okay, and again, if you can simplify those radicals, simplify them. If you can't, leave it. Okay, for 33, it's about the same. So you're going to multiply these two. Okay, so it's going to be -5 times 3, -15, square root of 2 times 10, 20. And then this one times this one. So -5 times 3 times -3 is going to be positive 15. Square root of 2 times 2 is going to be 4. Okay, the last page is pretty easy, okay, as long as you know how to read the graph. Okay, so it says use the table above to answer the following question. How many students voted for Lions? 59. Okay, so we go to Lions and we're looking for the total. Otherwise, they would have specified like freshmen voting for Lions or whatever. Okay, how many freshmen were in the represented group? 75. So we're looking at freshmen and the total, which is 75. Of the students who voted for Panthers, how many of them were sophomores? 36. Perfect. Okay, the only part that some of you guys may not remember is the percent parts. Okay, so what percent of all students voted for Lions? Okay, so how many students voted total? 175. How many students voted for Lions? 59. Okay, so you're going to say 59 over 175, and you can either use that fraction button or hit divide. So what is 59 divided by 175? What do you get as a decimal? 0.33. Okay, so we want a percentage though, and that's a decimal. So when you take it, you're going to take the thing and you're going to move it over 2 places. So 1, 2. Okay, so it's really 33%. What percent of all students who voted were sophomores? Okay, so how many students voted? 175. How many of those guys were sophomores? 100. Okay, so same thing, you're gonna say 100 divided by 75, 175. What do you get as a decimal?
0.57.
Okay, so what is that gonna be as a percent?
I got
57%. Huh?
I got 37.
37?
Yeah.
We'll go